My name is Sarah Williams, a 29-year-old graphic designer living in a quaint little town nestled between rolling hills and dense forests. My life was uneventful, just the way I liked it. I spent my days working from home, creating visual wonders for various clients, and my nights reading mystery novels or catching up on the latest horror flicks. Little did I know, my own horror story was about to unfold. It all started on a chilly autumn evening. I had just moved into a new apartment, a charming old building with a lot of character. The landlord, an elderly woman named Mrs. Perkins, warned me about the quirks of the place, but I was too enamoured with the high ceilings and vintage decor to pay much attention. One of the quirks was an antique mirror that hung in the hallway. It was an ornate piece with an intricate gilded frame that seemed to belong to another. At first, I found the mirror fascinating. It added a touch of elegance to my new home. However, as days passed, I began to feel uneasy around it. Whenever I walked past, I had the unsettling sensation of being watched. One evening, as I was getting ready for bed, I noticed something strange. The reflection in the mirror seemed off. It was subtle, but there was a flicker, like a shadow darting just out of sight. I tried to shake off the feeling, attributing it to my overactive imagination and the late hour, but the incidents continued. I would catch glimpses of movement in the mirror from the corner of my eye, yet nothing was there when I looked directly at it. My unease grew, and sleep became elusive. One night, determined to prove to myself that it was all in my head, I decided to face the mirror directly. I stood in front of it, staring intently at my reflection. For a moment, everything seemed normal. Then, I saw it. A dark, shadowy figure standing just behind me, its form barely distinguishable, but undoubtedly there. I spun around, but there was no one in the hallway. My heart pounded in my chest, and a cold sweat broke out on my forehead. Terrified, I avoided the mirror as much as possible, but it seemed to have a hold on me. I could feel its presence, beckoning me to look, to acknowledge the shadow within. I started to have nightmares. Dark, twisted dreams where the shadow would emerge from the mirror and reach out for me, its icy fingers grazing my skin. Desperate for answers, I turned to Mrs. Perkins. She seemed hesitant, but eventually told me about the mirror's history. It belonged to the original owner of the building, a reclusive artist named Evelyn Harper. Evelyn was known for her macabre works and her fascination with the occult. After her mysterious disappearance, the mirror was the only thing left behind, and rumours swirled that it was cursed. Determined to rid myself of the haunting, I decided to get rid of the mirror. I covered it with a heavy cloth and planned to dispose of it the next day. That night I slept soundly for the first time in weeks, but when I woke up, the cloth was gone, and the mirror was back in its place, pristine and uncovered. Fear turned into dread as I realised that the shadow was not just confined to the mirror. It was here, in my home, watching, waiting. I could feel its presence everywhere. My once peaceful apartment had become a prison of terror. In the end, I couldn't take it anymore. I packed my things and left, abandoning the apartment and the cursed mirror. I moved far away to a bustling city where I hoped the noise and lights would drown out the memories of that haunting presence. But even now, sometimes, late at night, I catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure in the corner of my eye, and I wonder if the shadow behind the mirror ever really left me.